The guy did everything imaginable to her, and her screams were uncontrollable. I'm sure he came for a Champions League performance. I held myself together, sat down, and listened. She had never given me the sounds I heard that day. I experienced the worst 30 minutes of my life. I had a sexy and beautiful crush I'd known for a long time. She was the embodiment of beauty and charm. Her parents relocated to Abuja, and that's how she was taken away from me. I tried reaching her by phone 2 days later, but it wasn't going through. After a few days, I gave up trying. Months later, I was invited to a birthday party, and there she was, sitting prettily with 2 of her friends. The joy that engulfed me was beyond compare. I waved at her from afar, and she couldn't believe her eyes. We ran to each other like children and hugged for several seconds. The smile and grin were spectacular. She immediately took me to her friends and introduced me. After a few minutes, we understood we needed to catch up. We walked to a quieter corner, tried to refresh our memories, and talked about what had been happening in our lives. Since the music was loud, we went outside to talk for a few minutes before heading back to the party. After that night, we didn't go a day without talking. I got her new number, and we started communicating day and night. We loved each other deeply. I asked her out at Ozone 5 days after that party, and she agreed to be my love. One day, she invited me to her friend's place. We had fun and bonded well. We often met there because we couldn't have such fun at her parents' house. She was sweet inside and out. We dated for 6 good months, supporting each other. I was doing well and asked if she wanted to take our relationship to the next level. She said not yet, as she was trying to make the right decision regarding marriage. She expressed her love for me but asked me to slow down. I agreed. 2 weeks later, I drove to her friend's house but was a few houses away, on a business call. She was on the other side talking to a guy who had driven past me just a couple of minutes earlier. I watched closely and saw her open the guy's car door and kiss him. I couldn't believe it. I summoned the courage to watch as he got out of the car, hugged her, and they kissed deeply. I was ready to confront them but held back. They walked into the house. 5 minutes later, I started calling her, but she didn't pick up. After 4 tries, she busied my call on the 5th. So I came down, locked my car, walked to the gate, and opened it. I called again, but she didn't pick up. I went to the kitchen door beside her room and experienced the worst 30 minutes of my life. The guy did everything imaginable to her, and her screams were uncontrollable. I'm sure he came for a Champions League performance. I held myself together, sat down, and listened. She had never given me the sounds I heard that day. She behaved like a 5 to 10 minute girl with me, but she was receiving for over 20 minutes. I squeezed my hand, looked at the sky, and told myself you can only trust yourself. I recorded a few minutes of it, sent it to her while still in the compound, and left with a swollen, bitter chest ready to explode in tears. A few days later, I got a text from her saying, "Baby, I am sorry. Baby, I am sorry." I immediately blocked her before I could see myself in her arms again, because that thing in a man's zip can be deceived. But not with the experience I had. I don't trust any woman again. I was a faithful fool. Now it's chop and clean mouth for me, except an angel heals my heart.
Subscribe for more content.